God has now chosen a new leader for the Israelites. He's a liaison between God and God's chosen people. Through Joshua, the people successfully crossed the Jordan River and entered into the Promised Land. Hello, I'm Kathy Bartow. Joshua sent 2 spies from Shittim. They were sent in secret to look over the land of Jericho. Listen to Joshua chapter 2, verse 1. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. Go, look over the land, he said, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. Now the king of Jericho was told that some Israelites had come to Jericho to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent messengers to deliver this message to Rahab in Joshua chapter 2, verse 2. Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land. But Rahab had hidden the men and told the king's messengers that the men had indeed come to her. However, she didn't know their business and sent them on their way. She told the messengers, "If you go quickly, you might catch up with them." Rahab knew why the 2 Israelites had come, and for her help in hiding them from the king's messengers, she asked them to promise in the name of the Lord to spare the lives of her family. She said, "Promise that you won't put any of us to death." They promised by saying, "If you save our lives, we'll save yours. Just don't tell anyone what we're doing." When the 2 spies returned, they told Joshua in Joshua chapter 2, verse 24, "We're sure the Lord has given the whole land over to us. All the people there are weak with fear because of us." Joshua meets an angel of the Lord. Listen to Joshua chapter 5, verses 13 to 15. When Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him. The man was holding a sword. He was ready for battle. Joshua went up to him. He asked, "Are you on our side, or are you on the side of our enemies?" "I'm not on either side," he replied. "I have come as the commander of the Lord's army." Then Joshua fell with his face to the ground. He asked the man, "What message does my Lord have for me?" The commander of the Lord's army replied, "Take off your sandals. The place you are standing on is holy ground." So Joshua took them off. This is what the Lord told Joshua in Joshua chapter 6, verses 2 through 7. "I've handed Jericho over to you. I've also handed over to you its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all your fighting men. In fact, do it for 6 days. Have 7 priests get trumpets made out of ram's horns. They must carry them in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times. Tell the priests to blow the trumpets as you march. You will hear them blow a long blast on the trumpets. When you do, tell the whole army to give a loud shout. The wall of the city will fall down. Then the whole army will march up to the city. Everyone will go straight in." So Joshua, the son of Nun, called for the priests. He said to them, "Go and get the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. I want 7 of you to carry trumpets in front of it." He gave an order to the army. He said, "Move out. March around the city. Some of the fighting men must march in front of the Ark of the Lord." Joshua needed to give the men another order. It was an order of silence until the time when they were all to shout. Joshua said, "Don't give a war cry. Don't raise your voices. Don't say a word until the day I tell you to shout. Then shout." Day 7. Listen as I read Joshua chapter 6, verses 15 through 26. On the 7th day, they got up at sunrise. They marched around the city just as they had done before. But on that day, they went around it 7 times. On the 7th time around, the priests blew a long blast on the trumpets. Then Joshua gave a command to the army. He said, "Shout, the Lord has given you the city. The city and everything in it must be set apart to the Lord to be destroyed. But the prostitute Rahab and all those with her in her house must be spared. That's because she hid the spies we sent. But keep away from the things that have been set apart to the Lord. If you take any of them, you will be destroyed, and you will bring trouble on the camp of Israel. You will cause it to be destroyed. All the silver and gold is holy. It is set apart to the Lord. So are all the things made out of bronze and iron. All those things must be added to the treasures kept in the Lord's house." The priests blew the trumpets. As soon as the army heard the sound, they gave a loud shout. Then the wall fell down. Everyone charged straight in, so they took the city. They set it apart to the Lord to be destroyed. They destroyed every living thing in it with their swords. They killed men and women. They wiped out young people and old people. They destroyed cattle, sheep, and donkeys. Then Joshua spoke to the two men who had gone in to check out the land. He said, "Go into the prostitute's house, bring her out, also bring out everyone with her. That's what you promised her you would do." So the young men who had checked out the land went into Rahab's house. They brought her out along with her parents and brothers and sisters. They brought out everyone else there with her. They put them in a place outside the camp of Israel. Then they burned the whole city and everything in it. But they added the silver and gold to the treasures kept in the Lord's house. They also put there the things made out of bronze and iron. But Joshua spared the prostitute Rahab. He spared her family. He also spared everyone else in the house with her. He did it because she had hid the spies he had sent to Jericho. Rahab lives among the Israelites to this day. At that time, Joshua made a promise and called down a curse. He said, "May the person who tries to rebuild this city of Jericho be under the Lord's curse." When Joshua called down the curse on anyone who tried to rebuild Jericho, this underlined the symbolic significance of this first Canaanite city to fall. Till next time, peace be with you.